Hey guys, I just heard some crazy rumors about Fudge going mid.
And I believe the current rumored roster is me mid, Summit top. So that's interesting.
So I'm gonna read some of these replies and see what they say. All right, let's start with the first one here. Fudge role swapping into Bjerg. That isn't gonna be pretty. Well, first of all, we're not really sure if he's actually role swapping, are we? But if he was, you're right, it would not be pretty for Bjerg.
I like Bjerg, you know. I talked to him when it was possible that he was going to join C9. I talked to him a little bit. I don't have anything against him, but honestly, I don't think Bjergsen will shit on me like people think.
The dude's a coach.
By spring, it'll be quite the opposite. From Narvutin Guntian, I don't know how to say his name. Oh boy, they were desperate for a mid laner. They really were. Imagine putting a top laner in mid lane.
So if Fudge were to go mid, I'm fairly sure he'll end up being one of the best mids in North America.
Fudge mid is gonna be pathetic. The fact he's wide doesn't mean he's Bwipo. Let's not forget this guy couldn't lane in LCS spring. But hey, if Bjergsen is gonna play mid, I'll give Fudge a shot.
Wow, that kind of took a turn.
I don't know what this means. Is he flaming Bjergsen?
You know, I think what's pretty interesting when you look at Fudge and his spring performance, you can take a look at his improvement over time, where a lot of people were memeing him in lock-in, but many people thought he was the best top laner in North America towards the end of the year. So we shall see.
I could definitely lane in LCS spring. I think that's very overblown. By the end of LCS spring, I think I was doing completely fine against all the top laners. So
I guess Caps and Humanoid don't exist. And Frozen Creek responds with, not when Fudge is done with them. You know what, Frozen Creek? I think you're right. It's a good take.
I expect Fudge to run it down once again at preseason tourney, and some fans will lose their shit and he'll smurf afterwards once he's fully adjusted Lamau. I mean, I guess that's possible.
I completely could see that. And those same people who get upset and talk shit about him and talk shit about me for picking him up, will of course forget all about that and say they always knew.
And then eventually, I'm just gonna outscale everyone because no one knows how to solve problems or get better at the game. So, you know, I can see this comment being valid. I'm okay with that comment.
So this one's from Goon. It's replying to LS, and he says, so he's basically the OS Chovy. I would like to say that Chovy is kind of like the LCK Fudge.
Fudge is mid-tier. I'm top tier.
All right. This is a pretty, good question to ask. PikaWika4444 asks, can Fudge even play any mages? Well, we're gonna find out, aren't we?
I'm currently learning them, but I could already play Syndra and Orianna. Okay, but I'm learning Zoe and Zillion and Annie. We love Annie here. You know, the church. Church 9.
Ben says, Fudge ADC in summer. It's funny, Ben. I would lie if I said we'd never talked about it.
So Fudge versus Chovy mid lane next Worlds. Okay. I actually replied to this tweet because Chovy, I'm going to be versing him in lock-in.
All right. Winters Ward, one of our biggest fans, he replies with, he doesn't reply with just WTF. He replies like a fully written out, what the fuck. All right. Nick, enjoy.
Prediction, Fudge will be the best Western mid at Worlds. By Worlds. I agree.
This is an interesting one. It's interesting because it was actually written before a lot of this kind of news broke.
So I replied to this tweet when I heard the first thing about me possibly going mid lane, which was 4 days ago. So that's why I replied sounds fun in the event, you know, that it actually happened.
Maybe Fudge was the original leak. Ha! That was days ago. All right, LCS Wooloo says, Fudge when he heard about C9 looking for a mid, and it says, fine, I'll do it myself. That's pretty accurate, actually.
LCS and LEC Wooloo kept DMing me, asking me about what our roster was, so now they know, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, that's interesting, I guess. I don't think these comments are like that toxic. A lot of them is like sort of nice, so it's gonna be interesting, you know. I just want to wait and see. Start scrimming in Korea once we start boot camping there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and it's going to be pretty fun.